Folks, more tape don't lie. I'm Michael Felder. We've got Chris Martin, C-Mart, in the building, college football analyst here at Stadium. C-Mart, how are you doing?
I'm good. What's up, Felder?
Man, I'm excited. We're talking about Wake Forest. We're talking about Pitt. We get to go back to my neck of the woods in the ACC. I think the big thing here is I want to show people the numbers. Like, these are two of the best offenses, specifically passing offenses in the country. So when you look at them from that 50,000-foot view, what do you see?
Well, the first thing is that they get matchups, and that's kind of the key to both offenses. They can scheme guys open, and so that's why they've had a lot of success. But you know how I am, Michael. I've always said it's the players, not the plays, and they've got two triggermen that can execute beautifully.
Yeah, so let's get into the film. Like, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with Sam Hartman at Wake Forest, a guy who just makes plays. But the big thing I want to show here, we got to give some love to the big boys up front, right? Like, look at this pocket. Like, this guy has got the time. You got to have the time to make the play. And I love how long he's able to sit in the pocket and make this happen.
Well, this frustrates a defensive back because this is literally a deep over that comes from the bottom of the screen and works all the way open. But as you said, when you have a fortress around you right here, it allows Hartman to stand tall in the pocket. He can survey the field, and then he can place a throw all the way across it. And so that's a difficult position to be in. It starts up front with that offensive line. This guy's running naked right here. Can't recover. There's nothing you can do as a defensive back on this play. And that's what I mean about scheming guys open, but also showing the ability to execute.
Yeah, I love that out of them. So we're going to get to Kenny Pickett as well. I love Kenny Pickett. I think the guy's an absolute ball player, but he's operating under the same situation, right? Like, you look at him here. Look at this offensive line. One, we got a guy that's a bug on the rug right here, and you've got a pocket just set up nice for you. So before we get into the trigger man, we got to give love to these offensive linemen because they're making things happen.
Well, and even when they get stunts up front, they've been good about picking them up, which tells you they're in lockstep, they communicate. And, you know, when you get these crossing routes, Michael, you hate to see it. There's a stunt as you've drawn up, and they do a good job picking it up. And what that does is it allows you time to run these crossers. Defensive backs do not want to guard man beaters or crossers, especially when a quarterback's given that much time.
Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. You don't want to have to covering across the field is harder than covering down the field. And while everybody thinks about covering down the field as the big thing because that's what leads to touchdowns a lot of the times, covering across the field when you're worried that they're always going to turn up the field, like, take us through that as a defensive back, what their mindset and what these teams are doing to them.
Well, you're always taught that you don't want to give up that inside route because it's an easier throw for the quarterback. But the problem is when the quarterbacks have so much time, now you got to latch on to these receivers, and they get you on their back, which is what they're taught to do, and all of a sudden it provides a perfect window for these quarterbacks. So, again, kind of talking about that execution.
Yeah, so let's get to the next play here. And this is one I really like this because now we're talking about the trigger man, right? This is an off-platform throw that he puts up and down, gets it into the space where his guy can catch it, and he can make a play. So let's look through it. Let's look at it again. And I love this because, look, they don't have the same – the offensive line starts out strong, but then you see that protection start to break down. Now we've got a guy that's got a free run. Hartman, what does he do? Stands in the pocket. And he knows I can't get the full oomph into the football, so I'm going to make sure I give my guy a chance and let him make a play.
Well, this is well designed, though. If you look at it, what the defense wants to do, you get bunch formation and trips. Yeah, they want to exchange these routes. You take inside, I'll take outside. The problem is it leads to miscommunication, and that's typically what happens here. And now you've got good on a tough matchup for a safety, and this is what happens. You talk about 5 and dime. Well, this is a dime to 5, and this is what happens. He's got speed. You got him on a safety. Safety's compromised. This thing gets to the house.
Yeah, and let's talk Kenny Pickett right now because I think this is really important. He has emerged not just as a Heisman candidate, not just as the leader in the Coastal when it comes to getting to the ACC championship game. You were talking to me pre-show. He's a guy that's on the NFL radar. What do you think about him at that next level?
If there were a draft today, Michael, he would be the first quarterback taken for sure. He has developed, and that's the key word to underscore. All the football he's played, he has developed his craft and skill set. He's a big kid. He's smart. He's going to win Monday through Friday. I mean, he's great at his prep work. And now that's translating to the field. So clearly you want a guy playing his best football on the way out, and that's what this kid is doing.
Listen, somebody said, give me a comp for Kenny Pickett. I said, he's a guy that looks like Matt Ryan, but he plays like Russell Wilson. And I love that about him. Let's look at his game. Let's look at what he's able to do, because it's not just the Monday to Friday. On Saturday, this kid's giving you dimes. And I love this one because it's an off the back foot fadeaway throw that he's able to punch in there. And we see it from the rear view. I mean, you get a chance. This is your defender, right? This is the guy playing in the hole. What do we call him? The rat in the hole? That's a guy that's kind of sniffing out what you're going to do. And Kenny Pickett, look at this. Look where he's looking, right? He's looking over here. Hard vision to his left, hard vision to the left. We get hard vision to the left. Guess what? I'm going back to the right, and I'm punching it in where you're not because I moved you with my eyes.
Moved him, just a subtle move with the eyes. But this is what the scouts love. This is a perfect illustration. Here's a guy that can throw the ball with velocity from an off-platform position. And that is what's going to make this kid a lot of money one day.
I love it. Listen, I'm a Kenny Pickett fan. Kenny Pickett stan. Been a big fan of his since he was committed to Temple. So I don't want folks to forget that. And then we're going to get into what's unique, right? So unique about their schemes. Here we're going to show some of the claw offense, and we'll get through this, and then we'll run it back again. But you look at the claw offense, the slow walk-up mesh point. He hops into this throw, and he's able to make a play. I love that about him. Listen, the offense, is it hard to watch? Is it frustrating at times? Yeah. But I'm watching it from a defensive standpoint where here's the reality. We got 2 replays of this all 22. So let's look at this. Look at how slow. It's slow. It's slow. It's slow. It's slow in here. You have to commit to this. He has to commit to this. This is a guy. These guys have no real help. And that's what they're doing with this offense, which is how they're helping Sam Hartman.
And it's such an easy read for Hartman because you pointed out the defender. He has to honor that dive. So eventually, as much as he wants to hold out, he does have to trigger and commit. And this is a great shot. He wants to hold it, but he's got to go and honor that. When he does, now you've moved the defender. You've created more spacing. Now you can throw this deep over route and hit it to your receiver, put it on him, and get it to the house.
Yeah, this is another really quick one. Like, gets into the play really quick, so let's run it through, and then we'll get to the back end. But I love this throw from Pickett because I don't think a lot of folks, as they watch this, realize how truly special this is. So what you see here, you look at Clemson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. It looks like a 5-man pressure. What you're going to get, 3 guys are bailing out. But these guys, Kenny Pickett, the quick trigger, the quick mind to see, oh, they're going to bail. I've got space here. I need to hit my guy in that space before these defenders are able to fill that space. And I love that he's able to do that very quickly.
And he can put it on the receivers, big-time arm. And one thing I will say, Michael, about this NFL draft 2022, when you look at the quarterbacks, it's going to be a jump ball. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have fallen off, that have given back money, and then there's guys like Pickett who are elevating. So it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. But clearly, this guy's making himself some money.